everyone, Adrienne here. So, here we are. You guys were super excited about Her Despair when I introduced you to them last year. I can't tell you how thrilled I was to see that. Even more thrilled to see how excited everyone is getting about the new goth bands coming out. So, Her Despair will be releasing their latest album, Exorcisms of Eroticism, on November 22nd. They've already released a music video for their song Exorcism. It's super dramatic, dark, and beautiful. Here, have a peek and a small listen just to see for yourself.
Oh, do you feel me deep inside of you? Once again you draw me further in, my love. Incantations, revelations, finally we come to let it go as we reach the climax of it.
So guys, please go to their channel to watch the entire video and follow them on social media and show them your support. They were so happy when I made my first video on them because more people got to hear their music. Over this past year, the lead singer James and I have become friends, and because of the success of the first video review I did, James was kind enough to send me an MP3 version of Exorcisms of Eroticism about a month ago, so I could make a video about it. Being that this is still Halloween season, I thought this would be the perfect time to do so. You guys are already in the Halloween spirit. I mean, more than usual, let's be honest. Every day is Halloween for us. Her Despair set a very high standard for themselves with their previous releases, so we've all been excited for their next album. They definitely defied expectations with this one. I love how they've made their melodic patterns and symphonic soundscapes accompanying the instrumentation so much more complex than their previous releases. I also love that James has gotten braver with his vocal range and is aiming higher, as far as that's concerned, in more ways than one. That can be difficult for some people because a lot of people, in my experience, convince themselves that they can't really sing high notes. However, in my experience as a singer and, talking to younger singers, that's hardly the case once they actually figure out how to use proper technique when they're singing. Sorry. Bit of a tangent, but anyway, James is rocking at it. He's doing a wonderful, wonderful job. I was so damn impressed by this album as a whole. The entire time I was listening to it, I felt like I was witnessing the music being played and sung in the ruins of a dimly lit ancient Gothic cathedral. It was just so thrilling. It's pretty clear that this album was inspired at least partly by Dante's Inferno. I love that piece of work, I really do. And because of the scale, like the higher scale that this album is on, compared to their previous releases, this almost felt operatic. And I feel with the subject matter, it was definitely justified. Absolutely. This was almost like an operatic work. Oh my god. You guys are going to love it. You guys are so in for a treat. Alright, on to the tracks. The first one is Pandemonium. This one absolutely shows no mercy right from the start. It's really good. It is so good. So I love the 6/8 time signature used here, and you can definitely tell that this album will be heavier just based on how it begins. It's really, really amazing. I love how much more symphonic Her Despair is on this album, and it's apparent even on the very first track. This really gave me goosebumps because it made me excited for the rest of the album. The little guitar solo toward the end is really, really incredible. This song is definitely a dark waltz, Her Despair style. Even the quality of the lyrics has become more refined. Next is The Exorcism. This is very clearly the star of the show with this album. The choir cries soulfully in the background and sets the perfect foundation for James's voice to dominate over the dark rock instrumentation and the symphonic elements. The lyrics here are very romantic and give some great erotic undertones and innuendos. Overall, this is just so intoxicating, dark, and again, romantic. It really draws comparisons between sexual attraction and possession, and of passionate love and theology. It's so fascinating to hear. In the Moment is next. This one is more predominantly in a major key than the previous ones. It's so, again, passionate and romantic and full of so much sadness and longing. Again, the instrumentation is perfectly balanced between the rock elements and the symphonic elements. The touches of acoustic guitar here was a really nice surprise during the bridge section. Again, it just goes to show you how complex, dramatic, and dark this album is. Like a Crucifixion follows. This one hits you in the face right off the bat with electric guitars. I will admit, there are times when this album does drift a little more into symphonic metal than it does goth, but I'm not going to pitch a fit or get all nitpicky about it. But I feel like it is justified in this particular album because of how dramatic and dark the subject matter is and everything entailed. Beyond the Veil really took my breath away. The acoustic guitar, piano, and the choir really set a more gentle foundation for this song. The electric guitar makes its appearance when the chorus comes in and finishes out the last bit of the song after the halfway point. The lyrics are definitely sadder and more romantic here, which is matching the instrumentation just perfectly. Again, that's another one of the things that really impressed me about this album is just how the lyrics match the instrumentation really, really well. It doesn't feel out of place. Final Rest really lives up to its name. It begins with an acoustic... That's awesome! So guys, the power went out. I was just about to start talking about the final track on the album when the power just totally cut out. So my lighting went out and it made what I was going to be doing here very difficult, so I'm just going to be doing the remainder of this video as a voiceover. Final Rest really lives up to its name. It begins with an acoustic guitar, the orchestra, and the bass guitar. When James's voice comes in, it's accompanied by very gentle drums, and erupts with electric guitar in the chorus. God, this was just so sad and incredibly lonely and hopeless. The lyrics speak of the death of his lover and the desire to ascend to the next world together. The bridge section definitely intensifies as a last crescendo before the finale, and the addition of the choir for the last sounding of the chorus was definitely touching and very breathtaking. So when it comes to Her Despair's new album, Exorcisms of Eroticism, it is truly a masterpiece. Like I said, when they had their first two releases, they definitely set a very high standard for themselves, but this was just mind-blowing and really exceeded expectations. Like I said, the subject matter and everything like that really created an operatic overtone as far as the entire album is concerned. So if you really loved the first release by Her Despair that I shared with you, you are definitely going to love this. And like I said, it definitely does cross into the territory of symphonic metal occasionally throughout the course of this album, but it'll pleasantly surprise you. I promise it will pleasantly surprise you. I was certainly pleasantly surprised. I am really, really glad that I had the privilege of listening to this before it was actually released. Again, I want to give my sincere thanks to James and all the rest of the members of Her Despair for giving me the opportunity to review it for you guys, because You guys really deserve the recognition. You guys have worked so hard. I really, really appreciate the hard work that you've put into it. I'm really thrilled to see you guys growing as a band and as musicians, and seeing your influence just spreading across the world of goth. It is just so thrilling to me. It really is. So, all the links for Her Despair will be in the description below. Don't forget to check out the full music video for The Exorcism on Her Despair's YouTube channel. You will not be disappointed because it is really incredible. And all of their social media will be listed in the description as well, so that you can follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, of course. And their main website where they do all of their purchases and everything would be on Bandcamp. So that's where you can buy their CDs, their merch. That's where you can pre-order Exorcisms of Eroticism and lose your mind over how wonderful it is. And guys, as always, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the bell for notifications so that you can get notified every time I post a video. I've been on a real productivity streak lately, and I hope that you guys are appreciative of that. You guys are amazing. I love you. Go show Her Despair your support, and I will see you guys later. Bye.